Welcome to another episode of the Endwalker MSQ. So last time we went all the way down to the bottom of Labarynthos to the inner circuit, helping or attempting to help to fix up the ark that is going to carry all of the refugees to the moon. And so we're going to continue right away talking to Urianger. I'm just gonna throw my checkbook. Here we go. Let's get into it. A tour of Labarynthos, huh? An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestways Burrow, it would be in our best interests to have the Loporitts acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing, rather than broadening, their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture. What a marvellous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Which one? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Kobe. Ah yes, the what's-it. Which what's-it? That big what's-it? Okay. I definitely know what this is. No, not that what's-it. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features. Yes, of course. Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. Yep. Okay, there's the mushroom-like thing. That looks like the trees in Greatest Endvale. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced too. Now it makes sense, that's where they store the water. And yeah, it's a water tower, of course. Tanks. Tanks of maybe cerulean? It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. This must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Of course. Of course it is. What else do we have? Metallic tube. Is that to bring the water up? Is that water right here from inside that great big tube? It must be because of those cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. I see, that's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. Yes, of course. Well, most likely anyway. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it, a design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments. For us Loporitts, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that people of Etheirys sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thavnir are built near an oasis and areas near waterfalls for gear buying. Go Thavnir. So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear that they rely on it far more than we'd anticipate. A few adjustments may be in order, once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loporits will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of the Charlian hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth, Loporits may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way, and trust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way. To the water extraction, what's it? Alright, we're gonna go help them along to Logisticon Alpha. Get this one. Wrong way. Alright. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. Yes, so that's Logisticon Alpha right there, I believe. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination docked wire that lifts top. Pray, follow me. Up to the medial circuit. Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars, for your kind to inhabit. Apparently most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Etheirys just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Let's use these. It's still very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where is the food? I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Meriol Agronomics. As I imagine Singway and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Urianger was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention, Etheirys will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay. So, Meriol Agronomics. It'll all be a Charlian food though, which is mostly used for its nutritional purpose and doesn't taste very good, so... I don't know how that will sit with all the other passengers of the moon. This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples. Hey, cooking ways accompanying me then. Aww. Aww. What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you. The one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will become our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment. So many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce if we may. By all means, help yourself. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So, where to begin? Oh my god, these are the grapes everyone was mocking. Oh my god. Oh, I know what these are. Grapes. Yes. Let's see if they are as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? Yeah, good grapes are good. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, I recall. Yeah, wine. Although that's fermented grapes, I believe. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next tree. Continue. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first, the fruit or the colour? Who cares? Let's eat. It's a good question, actually. Probably the... Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know. Yes, that's... Equal parts sweet and sour, as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Urianger about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter? This is all very complicated, you know, so many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous though they still are in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there. I guess the fruit came first. These pumpkins. That colour, that texture. Are they some sort of enormous round carrots? No? In any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the text. But it's so hard and flavourless, I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, can't you see these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favourite dishes for as long as I can remember. Then perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder though, if there is anything even more delicious. How about that yellow fruit over yonder? Yellow fruit? A lemon? It's a lemon. Oh, she's gonna hate the lemon. What a wondrous fragrance. With luck, I'll have a flavour to match. I have no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. That's a bad idea. My tongue, is it poison? It's citrus. A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? It may be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I've had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges, less so the pumpkin though. Though I learned the hard way that they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was lemon, the deceiver. I feel so violated. First time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one, so I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to... Oh, bit of sick came up there. Learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, lemon muffin, do your worst. This is delicious. Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the Forum agonized over what was worth preserving, and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Hydaelyn sees in your kind. Mankind, the Loporitts, we were born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. That's what I said! That's what I said, and then that drives them to end up dying out. And therein lies its folly, and its downfall. Yes! For perfection is an unattainable ideal, just the paradox of the immaculate character. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. Wait, then is the alternative? What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect. To be content with what we have and make the most of it. This is everything that I've said. When life gives you lemon, make lemon muffins. Pardon my Eorzean, but what in the seven hells are you on about? And who are you anyway? Cooking away at your servants. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Etheirys' species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive. Probably. Let's go and see if Urianger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? So that's extremely interesting, because that is literally everything that I already said in that little analysis video I made of the level 87 quests. That the pursuit of perfection is what, in essence, leads to the downfall of the civilizations. When Meteon was, when Meteon got the report back from her sisters, and she saw that they all attempted to achieve perfection, then they died out because of that pursuit. And the only way to live is to realize that nothing is quote-unquote perfect, and we all must live with some sadness otherwise, or some sadness or sorrows, or otherwise the joys that you do find are meaningless. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? Oh, that was bad. Culinarians Guild. Yeah. Would that I had time to visit. The more I learn of Etheirys, the more I wish we could spare from the final days. I think we can. Alas, Hydaelyn's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. I think there is. I think we can save Meteon and prevent the final days. Xenos will become the final beast of the final days by harnessing his bloodlust, turning into the final beast, keeping the final days on Etheirys. We go back, we defeat him, final days or whatever. I think that's what's going to happen. Kirby, I trust thy time at Mariel Agronomics did bear fruit. This fucking guy, dude. This fucking guy. Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them, and us for a fortnight. Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlene Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every Loporitt there, should further questions within my power to answer arise. Aww. Making your way back to the Charlene Hamlet. What's up? Yes, Kobe, that was indeed me verbalizing aside to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Etheirys at Logisticon Alpha. That's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? Yep. I say, with a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard, yet achieving so little. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Thancred. How didst thou fare? I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here. Despite news of the coming end, we have the forum's leadership. To thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not. Though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with them. Tis as good a place as any. Come. Gum. Over this way. Troubled researcher. Oh, can I help you? It is you who would help me. Is my anxiety truly so obvious? Yeah, a bit. A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray tell us of thy troubles. Those little fellows do look good. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it's the sum of decades of Charlian ingenuity, but it's built with peerless, elegant technology. It's all true, but I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage. But even so, if it fails us, then what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether bonus design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou hold the power to allay his fears. I'm not too sure about that, but, well... Maybe you could tell me if there were any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about. Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate the environment. But what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star? Aha! Gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places... I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yet, if Fangford's tale be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might it prevail upon the Loporitts to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught would like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Etheirys, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions, and bring them hither. Kobe, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out in the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Loporitt. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loporitt, and every Loporitt in their place. Oof, that was big. Apologies, but I'm awaiting a delivery. Whatever it is, we'll have to wait. Okay, don't even need to talk to the Gleaner. Let's see if we can't find some researchers. Level-headed engineer. Concerns, nay, there is no point in worrying at this stage. She's coping. Any in this field that I may have missed? Behind, no. That side, no. Alright, that place is fine. Anxious engineer. What am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them with the assistance of our sages and chirurgeons. But to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us, to say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. The crew from the moon, why did I not think of that? Capricious research. Ah, the world of the end is nigh, yet the work goes no faster. Schedules are such temperamental things. Feasible one moment, utter bollocks the next. And yet, I've never felt so alive. He's fine. Or she's fine. I'm sure of it. You, yes you idiot. Have you seen an envelope lying about? This imbecile refuses to give me the alchemic I ordered without that bloody slip of parchment. Unless your friends have a spell to make me remember where I dropped my damned envelope, I doubt they'll be more help than you, and you've wasted enough of my time already. Okay. I'd want him to be nowhere near the Loporitts. My face, what's wrong with my... Oh, perhaps I am a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring that the proper fauna, and only the proper fauna, are brought with us to the moon. However, the suitability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself, when I know so little about the environment up there. Including the Loporitts in our discussions is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will, thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clue as well. So that's 2. Oh my god, there's 8 of these. Jesus. Consult our collaborators. I suppose that would be more effective than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips should the ether burner make our original estimates unfeasible. But there are simply too many variables. I feel as if my brow will turn inside out. But perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight into how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purposes. Thank you for letting me know. Anyone over here? No. How might I help you? My, what a lovely idea. I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pluck some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need only track down 100 or so cups. Don't you worry, I can manage. I hope your plan to cheer everyone up goes well. She's doing better than me. Oh, okay. I need to show off. Any researchers? Can't get in there. Got this one. No. Not there. Distracted researcher. Here we go. 56 bunches of weeds in the ground. 56 bunches of weeds. Rip one out, add to the mound, 55 bunches of weeds in the I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I was in need of a little break, you see, but then I found myself unable to relax at all. So I went on a walk, and then I noticed these weeds, and... Pleasant conversation partners, and oh so fuzzy. Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. Yeah, that's half of them. I probably found more of the fake ones than of the real ones. There's one of them. Hyperventilating engineer. You'll be okay, buddy. By the gods, my chest is tight. Am I dying? Is this what it feels like? Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There is no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern. Even though we may need to depart at any moment. and if the hull I designed buckles under the strain, the entire vessel may explode and launch, claiming countless lives and dooming all mankind. But that is highly unlikely. Yes, highly unlikely. Highly. Our visitors can help me triple check the structural flaws, you say? Why, that would be wonderful. I'm breathing more easily already. That's 5. We've got 3 more to find. This is where the Loporits were. That one, I'm pretty sure. So we'll just check around here. Yep, that's where they were. Anyone out here? No. There's a guy. There's one as well. Despondent engineer. Just leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. I apologize. I simply don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under the pressure? You know a starship pilot that I might speak with? Truly? Well then, there's no time to waste. They can help me prepare for this monumental task. 2 more? Oh, there's one. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I have no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for a new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. Yeah, it really does. I asked the forum, but they will only tell us that our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering through a sea of stars on God knows what, made by God knows who. We can go talk to them if you want. You mean to say that I can speak with them directly? Amazing. I hope they like questions. And then the last one, or at least saw one more, over this way. Is anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a void since I played it as a piano. My feet and knees are as drums and cymbals too. Okay, he just needs a break. Looking for anybody in need of assistance. Looking for one more researcher. Already went behind there. There we go. Harry the Etheirologist. Lost assistance. Where have they gone off to at a time like this? Beg pardon, but I have not the time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that ether levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery. It seems I shall have to do so single-handedly. I swear, when I find those assistants of mine... Actually, I've got some more bunnies that can do it for you. The Loporits are willing to help. Why didn't you say so? At least they won't mind about how they checked 2,000 times already and haven't slept in weeks. Lazy sods. Alright. Now we go back and speak with Urianger. Behold, Kobe, through thine efforts, word hath spread throughout Labarynthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated. Living Way doth gather more Loporits as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them. I shall prithee. It's living way.
Phew! Oh, finally some rest. Why, I haven't spoken so much in, well, in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
This is good, calming everyone's
to
fears.
consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
Yeah, keeping everyone's fears down is really good during the final days. That's a really, really smart idea.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Etheirys, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget,
Orshino, is it?
Oh there.
Wilson.
Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yeah, yes, I am.
I'm guessing they're related to Moonbreeder.
Wilson and Blovida, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
I'll say, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
Oh man. That's nice, man.
Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
Oh, that's nice, man.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know, we always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So
Oh.
I think I can feel her too.
That's nice, man. So nice.
The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
That's why we need to stop. Final days. Oh. Urianger finally got his conversation with them. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, Kobe, be assured that I am fine. I am. But glad to see them too, after so very long. Gladder still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Oh. You know, rip me Moonbreeder, but oh, it's so nice that you finally got closure on that. I guess they all of them got closure together. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporits. Not disappointed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so shall I remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Elise. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she's less like to scorn. Not to mention, that much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. I think those two quests are the... Yeah, those are the last two side current quests. Oh, that was really touching, man. Oh. Something that's been haunting him all the way since the Realm was born. He finally was able to get at least some closure on it. Really nice. What are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help me with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Yeah, I'll help you. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Etheirys. Time is short, of course. They're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphino will be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Okay, let's go. Etheirys. Okay. Just walk along this path. Ah! Leave me alone, sir. There's this place as well. Formazine. And so I'm guessing that the ship is in there. It's Elfie. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude. But how did you come to be involved in this? Ah, then I suppose I have Thangrid to thank as well. How goes the elegant adamant type collection, by the way? If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Loporitt to begin with, so was I. It turns out this is a base of operations of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. Yeah, what's in the box? Oh, okay. That should be everything. Whoa, she just carried so many boxes by herself. You carried all that at once. Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh, hush. They're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we're finished. Theopolden is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance, at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Yeah, Etheirys, huh? Very interesting, very cool. I'll tune to this Etheirys. Oh, we gotta check the people door. Dear Polden. Gods, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? We've brought samples from Charlie and Hamlet, Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You are Portioners children, are you not? Elpino and Alice at your service. You well acquainted with father, I take it. Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studio. I remember when you were yay high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly it's been quite some time since we've met. It's good to see you again, wielding your father's no less. You knew our parents when they were young. What were they like? Pray spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that, in exchange for the sorts of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Wait right there. And then I'll take these documents. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphino and Alice. I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Forum representative, yeah, no. Alright, right over here. There we go. Are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working with the Ether Burner. Yeah, we're waiting. We're waiting. Could you do that? Dear Polden's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlian has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. I certainly hope we succeed as well. So we can take the art all the way to Meteon's. Quick and efficient. I dare say you haven't talented this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning at any moment. We return with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons. You will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe you struggled out of your swaddling clothes and... There's quite enough of that, thank you. It was comprising stories of our parents that would ask to hear, to reiterate. Of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levair name garners such respect in Charlian is your family's storied history. You can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Nunkrep's Hope, a lineage few can claim. I've never thought that much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation, they were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Nunkrep's pronouncement, renounce the ways of war, and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Louisoix looked not to Newcroft's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tide was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy, and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. Yes! There will ever be conflict and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlian or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortunato could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortunato agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know Fortunato's a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads off enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day. That is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable, he was, with the kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say, thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Hail, you three. Hey, it's Graha. What's up, buddy? Graha, surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alice and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed it too long as it is. What about you, Kobe? Can you spare the time? I don't have much else going on. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Okay, very nice. I think I'm going to end it here. And then next time we're going to finish up in Labarynthos. I believe we're nearing the end. It's getting to feel like it. So yeah, we'll do that next time. And I'll see you all then. Bye bye.